Iya, soalnya ada.
Listen closely. The first step to becoming successful is not adding more people to your life. Listen closely. The first step to becoming successful is not adding more people to your life. It is removing the wrong ones from your mind. Most men fail because they are emotionally crowded. Too many voices, too many opinions, too many messages demanding a response, too many weak attachments pulling them back into the same average identity they claim to hate. You cannot become untouchable while remaining available to everyone. You cannot build an empire while answering every emotional disturbance around you. Machiavelli understood this truth. Power belongs to the man who controls access to himself. The world respects the man who is difficult to reach, difficult to shake, and impossible to guilt. Detachment is not hatred. It is discipline. It is the cold decision to stop bleeding energy into people who do not feed your purpose. Your attention is not a charity. Your time is not public property. Your presence is not a free resource for anyone who feels lonely, bored, insecure, or entitled. From this moment, you stop explaining your silence. You stop apologizing for your focus. You stop letting emotional noise interrupt your mission. Let them call you distant. Let them say you changed. Let them whisper that you think you are better. Good. A man who is becoming powerful will always look arrogant to people who have surrendered to weakness. Comment this phrase below. I protect my energy like a throne. Write it like a declaration. Because that is what it is. You are not disappearing because you are broken. You are withdrawing because you are rebuilding. Quietly, ruthlessly, strategically. And when you return, you will not return as the same man begging to be understood. You will return as a force they can no longer access, manipulate, or ignore. Number 2, stop feeding the need to be understood. The greatest prison most men live in is the hunger to be understood by people who have no capacity to understand power. They explain their silence. They justify their ambition. They defend their distance. They reveal their plans to people who are secretly hoping they fail. This is weakness dressed as honesty. A man who wants success must learn that not everyone deserves access to his inner world. Machiavelli would tell you that the more people know about your mind, the more weapons they possess against your future. Your dreams become targets. Your discipline becomes a threat. Your transformation becomes an insult to those who chose comfort over conquest. So stop telling everyone what you are building. Stop announcing your next move. Stop opening your soul to people who only study it to find the soft places. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is strategy. When you become quiet, people reveal themselves. They expose their envy. They expose their impatience. They expose how much control they thought they had over you. This is why detachment is dangerous. It removes the performance. It kills the addiction to approval. It teaches you to move without applause and suffer without witnesses. The world does not reward the man who is constantly explaining his pain. It rewards the man who turns pain into leverage. You do not need them to understand why you left. You do not need them to understand why you stopped replying. You do not need them to understand why your priorities changed. Your results will speak in a language louder than your explanations ever could. Comment this phrase below. My silence is my strategy. Write it because you need to remember it. Every time you feel the urge to explain yourself, breathe and stay cold. Every time someone tries to pull you into emotional chaos, step back and protect your center. A weak man reacts because he wants acceptance. A powerful man observes because he wants control. You are not here to be emotionally available to every confused person who misses the version of you they could manipulate. You are here to become unreadable. You are here to become disciplined. You are here to become the kind of man who no longer begs to be seen because he is too busy becoming undeniable. Let them misunderstand you. Let them doubt you. Let them invent stories about your silence. While they talk, you build. While they wonder, you rise. While they judge, you sharpen. Number 3, make your emotions obey your mission. A man becomes dangerous when his feelings no longer command him. Not because he has no emotions, but because his emotions no longer sit on the throne. Most men are ruled by moods. They wake up weak because they feel tired. They abandon discipline because they feel lonely. They chase people who disrespect them because they feel empty. They delay their future because they feel afraid. This is how the world controls them, through impulse, through desire, through insecurity, through the hunger for comfort. But the man who wants success must become colder than his impulses. He must learn to look at his emotions like soldiers under his command, not kings giving orders. Machiavelli understood that power belongs to the one who can master appearances while hiding storms. You may feel pain, but you do not perform pain. You may feel anger, but you do not become anger's puppet. You may feel loneliness, but you do not crawl back to people who weaken your spirit just to avoid silence. That is not love. That is addiction. That is dependence wearing the mask of connection. Detachment means you no longer let temporary emotions sabotage permanent goals. You train yourself to act from strategy, not reaction. When they ignore you, you do not beg. When they doubt you, you do not argue. When they leave, you do not collapse. You observe, you absorb the lesson, you return to the mission. This is masculine stoicism, not pretending nothing hurts, not becoming a stone, but refusing to let pain make you foolish. A weak man says, I feel, therefore I obey. A powerful man says, I feel, therefore I study myself. Your emotions are information, not instructions. Remember that. Comment this phrase below. My mission commands my emotions. Write it like a law carved into your mind, because from this moment, you stop being dragged by every wave inside you. You stop giving people the power to disturb your direction. You stop letting loneliness negotiate with your standards. Every empire begins when a man learns to govern himself. Before you conquer money, status, influence, or respect, you must conquer the chaos within. You must become the ruler of your attention, your reactions, your appetite, and your silence. Once your emotions obey your mission, people lose the easiest weapon they had against you. Number 4, turn loneliness into a private kingdom. Most men fear being alone because silence forces them to meet the version of themselves they have been avoiding. They fill every empty hour with messages, distractions, relationships, noise, and meaningless attention because they cannot stand the sound of their own unfinished life. But the man who is destined for success must learn to sit alone without panic. He must stop treating loneliness like punishment and start treating it like territory. Your solitude is not a prison. It is your private kingdom. It is where the weak version of you is studied, dismantled, and replaced. It is where you sharpen your mind without applause. It is where you build habits no one sees. It is where you become dangerous before the world notices. Machiavelli would understand this perfectly. A ruler does not become powerful in crowds. He becomes powerful in private, where he studies human nature, measures his enemies, controls his impulses, and prepares moves no one can predict. This is why your isolation must become intentional. You are not alone because nobody values you. You are alone because your next level requires a version of focus that average people cannot survive. Stop running back to weak company just because the room feels quiet. Stop confusing attention with loyalty. Stop mistaking constant communication for real connection. Many people do not love you. They love your availability. They love your emotional labor. They love the old version of you that responded quickly, forgave easily, and stayed accessible even when disrespected. That man must die quietly. Let silence bury him. Comment this phrase below. My solitude builds my empire. Write it because you need to stop fearing the very place where your strength is being forged. In solitude, you learn who you are without an audience. You learn what you want without outside pressure. You learn which desires are yours and which were planted in you by people who wanted you small. The weak man needs a crowd to feel real. The powerful man can stand alone and still feel complete. This is cold power psychology. When you no longer fear being alone, people lose the ability to control you with withdrawal. They cannot punish you with silence. They cannot trap you with affection. They cannot manipulate you with absence. You become free, and a free man with discipline is the most dangerous man alive. Number 5. Make success your only loyalty. At some point, a man must decide what he truly serves, not what he claims in public, not what he posts when he feels inspired, what he actually obeys when nobody is watching. Most men say they want success, but their loyalty belongs to comfort. Their loyalty belongs to distraction. Their loyalty belongs to women who confuse their mind, friends who waste their hours, family expectations that shrink their ambition, and emotions that change with the weather. They want the throne, but they still kneel before everything that keeps them ordinary. You cannot live like that anymore. If success is the mission, then success must become the highest law. Not people, not pleasure, not approval, not the fear of being judged. Success, the cold, demanding, unforgiving path of becoming better than your former self. Machiavelli would tell you that a ruler who serves too many masters eventually loses his kingdom. So stop serving every voice that calls your name. Stop rearranging your future to protect other people's comfort. Stop sacrificing your discipline for people who would not sacrifice their convenience for you. Your loyalty must become selective, ruthlessly selective. The mission gets your best energy. The mission gets your clearest hours. The mission gets your strongest attention. Everything else receives what remains, and some things receive nothing at all. This is not selfishness. This is order. A man without order becomes prey to everyone with an agenda. They will pull him, guilt him, flatter him, seduce him, distract him, and then laugh when he remains exactly where they found him. Comment this phrase below. I serve the mission, not the noise. Write it because you need to choose your master. Every time you say yes to nonsense, you say no to your empire. Every time you entertain drama, you betray your future. Every time you chase approval, you hand your crown to people who cannot even rule themselves. From now on, your success is not a dream. It is a command. You wake for it. You train for it. You study for it. You sacrifice for it. You disappear for it. Let weaker men call this obsession. Let distracted people call it cold. Let average minds call it too much. They do not understand that greatness has a price, and the price is everything that keeps you soft. Number 6. Become unavailable to manipulation. The moment you detach, people will test you. Understand this. They will not simply accept your silence. They will not calmly respect your discipline. They will reach for the old buttons they used to press inside you. Guilt, nostalgia, anger, seduction, pity, false emergencies, sudden affection. They will say you changed, not because they care about your growth, but because your growth has made you harder to use. This is where most men fail. They begin strong, then one message pulls them back.